The left doesn't understand what they've done. They don't understand what kind of fuse they've lit. The right doesn't understand how much violence is pent up on the left. 1 out of 4 people want me dead. 1 out of 4 people want you dead. Simply because you speak up and you speak your ideas. If you have the guts to stand up and say a man is a man and a woman is a woman, that's violence to them. That allows them to violate you with violence. Does that seem fair? Does that seem right? Let's get into exactly the mindset of these people who are mocking the family of the victim. You don't know what you're dealing with, and it is disgusting and it is ugly. You need to wake up before it's too late. Let's get into it. Let's dig in.
He's so fluffy, I'm gonna die.
Yesterday, FBI issued a $100K reward. I doubt that's why this minister turned this man in. Apparently, this minister happened to potentially know who it was, talked with the father, and convinced the POS to turn himself in. So as of right now, he is in custody. Hopefully, they're raking him over the coals. Waterboarding, whatever we got, oatmeal boarding, do anything that hurts the man. I'm sorry, I don't care at this point. You killed one of the most milquetoast people in the world. With that, what I want people to now understand that is happening is there's a real fire that's happening on the right. Why? Because Charlie was the best of us. He was a full-bore, committed, faithful Christian who believed in the faith to the point that he didn't want to hurt anyone. He was definitely turned the other cheek. He didn't antagonize speakers who literally would threaten him with violence. He didn't call people names. He was a decent, good human being. Out of anybody that's ever died that's been in the public eye, Charlie's one of the few that you can say, yeah, he went to heaven. And a lot of people see and feel that on the right. And we're going to get to what the left feel and see like. Even Ben Shapiro has come out of his closet and said, no more. Ben Shapiro is now making a stand, and this is shocking if you know Ben Shapiro. He's not one to put himself in danger. Has said that he is now going to go to campuses. He is going to speak. I guarantee you he's going to be a lot more careful than Charlie ever was, because Charlie believed, and I know God was with him, because Charlie is in a better place right now, but his family is who's hurting. You can read right there on the screen. What does Ben Shapiro say? And Ben Shapiro is not one to mince words, but he basically dumbs it down. And that is not something Ben Shapiro likes to do, as he likes to really believe in his own intelligence. A big FU. Again, the dichotomy between left and right, the line in the sand is really drawing. There are still hundreds, if not thousands of posts just in my circle on LinkedIn of all places where people celebrate the death of Charlie. So how does the left respond? The left responds with fake bomb threats. What was the DNC pipe bomb threat that the FBI was probably involved in? Oh yeah. They even allowed Kamala Harris to walk by this dangerous pipe bomb that they knew to be there because it was so dangerous. Well, now all of a sudden there's a bunch of bomb threats coming in at the DNC. I wonder if we should check Schumer's phone. Yeah, probably Schumer calling up, can you give me a bomb threat on the DNC? We're looking really bad right now. Yeah, that's the go-to. Let's call in a bunch of bomb threats to make it seem like the right is as violent as we are. No, there's only one side murking people right now. Yep, there's only one side, and you can't cover it up. It's one side murking people for freedom of speech, because what they believe is my words allow them to kill me and you if you believe anything about truth. This is what it's come to. There is already a hit list being formed, because what people need to understand is that this is going to get worse. I don't want it to get worse. Mark my words, I wish this was not going to happen. This is not the way I envisioned this to happen. I envisioned it was going to come from a whole different group, and we'll get into that later. Even Charlie Kirk saw it, but he didn't see it through quite the lens I did. Rowling, Walsh, Trump, Shapiro, Libs of TikTok, Musk, and Andy Ngo are just a few of the screenshots. Rogan was also on here. They want these people dead because they're speaking out against the insanity of the left. The left live in an echo chamber, and they do not care that they have a disjoint view of the world. They literally believe that speech can be equated to physical violence, and because of that, they will use physical violence to shut you up. And these people are the ones speaking out, breaking and shattering their little false glass house, and they can't handle it. The leftoids cannot handle truth. They can't handle the real world. And so when you break their little bubble, the only thing they can do is hurt you because you've shattered their reality. What I want to do right now cannot be spoken, but it needs to happen, and you all know what it is, indeed. But it's not going to happen the way we want it to, because the left will not come at you from the front. They come at you from the side. They hide in the shadows, and they attack you where you cannot see them. They make sure that they won't come out and say, yes, we're coming for you. No, they will hide and cower like the cowards they are and attack you from the shadows, because every last one of them is a coward. I dare any leftoid to step up to me in the ring. Let's go to the ring. I don't care how big you are. I am not afraid. We will go up into the ring and we will settle it there. But you guys won't do it because you're all cowards. You won't do it because in a real fight, in a fair fight, you lose. You lose every freaking time. Now, Mouthy, why are you so upset about this? Because you don't understand. Left and right. Left and right. I don't care which side you're on. Read this right here and tell me, are you one of the leftoid, Rainbow Bright? Are you one of these that believe in this? Because there's a 50-50 chance you do. Half of left-leaning Americans say assassinating Trump and Musk is justified. Half of left-leaning America. How slow do I need to say it to you? That means 1 out of 4 people you walk across today want you dead for speaking truth. Want the people you believe in, like Kirk, like the people celebrating his death, celebrating a man who did not believe in violence. Let me say that again. Celebrating a man who did not believe in violence, but discourse. They killed a man who believed in peaceful discourse, peaceful negotiation, peaceful argument, not violence. And they killed him. They killed one of the milquetoast, peaceful people on the right. That's what people don't understand on the left, because they don't want to think things through. They killed the number one man who believed in peace above violence. Believed in peace above any other outlet that could potentially be utilized by the right. And what they've done is they've torn that down. And the right sees it and they're waking up and they're like, holy F-bags. These guys actually will kill us. These guys actually believe in my death. Yes, 1 out of 4 people want me dead, want you dead. And you need to wake up to that fact. I'm not calling for violence, but I'm calling for the fact that you need to wake up that 1 out of 4 people want you dead. That would be happy to tap dance across your grave, laugh at your family's misfortune and loss. Yes, I do mean that. Don't believe me? It gets worse. Anna Paulina tried to get this done upon the death of Charlie Kirk, but even the Democrat leaders booed, jeered, and screamed no. No moment of silence. So the Speaker of House had to come out and demand a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. Explain it to me. Explain it to me why Anna Paulina couldn't say, let's have a moment for Charlie Kirk's death, and they scream out no. They jeer. They laugh. These are the leaders of the left. These are the leaders who want you dead. Think about that. These are the leaders elected by people who want you dead, who publicly laugh at the death of Charlie Kirk. Gets worse, guys. Marco Rubio, State Department will ban any foreigner from entering the country who celebrated the assassination of Charlie Kirk online. Fantastic. And there are people like me online who are working to try to get people fired on LinkedIn. That's right. I am on LinkedIn taking screenshots, going after people to get them fired. We're just getting started, boys. Why? Why Mouthy? Why the fire? I want you to understand something. I want you to understand these people are not like you and me. These people do not believe in justice. These people believe in your death. So as of when this got taken last night, 342,000 likes. They will murder you and then blame you for making them murder you. I took this already. This is actually much, much worse. Charlie Kirk isn't a martyr. He's a casualty of the violence he incited. Casualty of the violence he incited. Casualty of speaking his perception of reality, his truth, his faith, because he spoke out and demanded people to pay attention to what, no, didn't force people, just asked people to have a discourse. He was shot. He was shot because he was peacefully speaking. Shot because he was peacefully speaking. Nick Freitas. This is a bit long, but it is very important because it captures the ethos of what is happening. Now, Nick is a state representative and he is bowing out, but this has now put an additional fire underneath him. He is rip-roaring mad. He is rip-roaring mad about this, and I broke it down as best I could, so please forgive the length of this. I made this as brief as I could, but it is still quite long, but I did trim out what I could while still keeping the very ethos of what he's trying to get across, and I think it's important because a lot of you out there that are listening are Christians probably, and you're saying, or you don't understand what I'm talking about. And you're like, whoa, Mouthy. We need to bring the rhetoric down. We need to calm down. We need to still keep paths of negotiation open. No. Nick Freitas, he is a Christian. He's a devout Christian. I'm a Christian, but I am like the low man on the totem pole. Whenever it comes to anything Christianity, I always consult my family first because they know way more than me. They've been in the faith way longer. I am definitely the black sheep that was lost and found. So this is coming from a devout Christian, a devout American patriot, a veteran. I believe he's an ex-Navy SEAL. Forgive me, Nick, if I'm butchering which branch you were in Special Ops. But I want you guys to hear this because this is coming from a man of faith. I am told as a state representative, this is the moment where I'm supposed to express my heartfelt condolences and then stand in solidarity on the other side of the aisle as we condemn political violence and stand unified as one people. But we aren't one people, are we? The truth is we haven't been for some time now. There's really no point in pretending anymore if there ever was. There are two different peoples. We may occupy the same piece of geography, but that is where the similarities end. I convinced myself for a long time that whenever the left called me a racist, a bigot, a sexist, a fascist, a threat to democracy, for even the most innocent of disagreements, that it was simply hyperbolic rhetoric. Done for effect. And now the effect is a widow and two orphan children because the left couldn't bear the thought of a peaceful man debating them and winning. I don't think they realize it yet, but murdering Charlie is going to be remembered as the day where we finally woke up to what this fight really is. It's not a civil dispute among fellow countrymen. It's a war between diametrically opposed worldviews which cannot peacefully coexist with one another. One side will win and one side will lose. Charlie tried to win that fight through argumentation, through discussion, through peaceful resolution of differences. And the other side murdered him. Not because he was extreme or inciting violence or any other hyperbolic slur that they hurled at him. They murdered him because he was effective, because he was unafraid, because he inspired others and made them feel like they had a voice and that they were not alone. And he did it at the very institutions which have fomented so much hatred toward conservatives. I don't want to stand in solidarity with the other side of the aisle. I want to defeat you. I want to defeat the godless ideology that kills babies in the womb, sterilizes confused children, turns our cities into cesspools of degeneracy and lawlessness, and that murdered Charlie Kirk. Social media is aflame right now with leftist celebrations of Charlie's death. I wonder if any among them understand what has just happened. If there's a Yamamoto somewhere in the mist warning that all they have done is awoken a sleeping giant. I doubt it. I think they gave up on such introspection and self-awareness long ago. But then there will be a reckoning. My Christian faith requires me to love my enemies and pray for those who curse me. It does not require me to stand idly by in the midst of savagery and barbarism. Quite the opposite. So every time I feel tired, every time I feel discouraged or overwhelmed, I am going to watch the video of a good man being murdered in Utah. I will force myself to watch it, and then I will return to the work of destroying the evil ideology responsible for that and so much more. Rest with God, Charlie. Your fight is now over. Ours is just beginning. Some of you are in horror right now. Some of you feel the fire. Let me remind you what we're dealing with. There you go. You want it in a nutshell? Democrats, Charlie Kirk. Republicans need to calm down. That's what some of you, even on the right, are saying right now. They have called for our deaths. They've called us Nazis. They've called us fascists. And they have encouraged violence. They have encouraged violence. Even Joe Rogan is waking up to this fact. You've got the mainstream pundits coming out and waking up. Joe Rogan says one of two things is going to happen after Charlie Kirk's murder. People are going to realize how effing insane this is. We have to have a conversation, being able to have conversations. And it's going to get a lot worse. Yeah. The problem is the other side doesn't believe in conversation. They haven't believed in conversation for some time, Joe. I know you're a little slow, Joe. And yeah, I like Joe Rogan, but he's a bit slow. And he's just now picking up on it. Eric July. Libertarians are even waking up to it. Make no mistake. Evil people are celebrating the death of Charlie. Also want you dead. Again, 1 in 4. Pretending otherwise is a death trap, and it's not something you can afford to be idealistic on. If this is to be sorted out, realities need to be addressed. And we cannot address the reality of somebody else. It has to come from within, and that is not going to happen. Lines are being drawn. Mouthy, you're out of your gourd. Am I? This is what they're doing now. Leftists are now leaving cruel comments on Charlie Kirk's wife's latest post. These people are demons. Pray for Erica and their children. What could they possibly be saying? Now your children have no father. On the family widow's post, mocking her loss. They're doing it out in the public. They're doing it on X. They're doing it on Sky Blue or whatever the F that is. Doing it on Reddit. Doing it on LinkedIn. They're doing it out in public. They are celebrating the death of a peaceful man. And you don't think you could be a target? You don't think that you are under attack? You don't think that your entire life system is under attack? Wake up. This, I believe, encapsulates this in a nutshell. If 9/11 happened today, half of the country would be celebrating it. Sounds about right. Probably 1 in 4, a little over 1 in 4, you could say. At least the 1 in 4 that want me dead. Convicted felon, drug addict. Media treats him as a saint. Talks to college kids. His death is mocked by media outlets. We are not the same. Let me ask, what is the definition of terrorism? Can we call this terrorism now? What is the definition of terrorism? Anybody help me? Oh yeah, it's using violence for the furtherment of political gain. The POS that killed Charlie Kirk was politically motivated. The shooter that shot up a bunch of kids and filmed the process was a terrorist. We now have a series of terrorists within the U.S., homegrown, thanks to the left, who want our entire way of life destroyed, who want us dead. They are terrorists, and I will start using that word from henceforth. They're no longer leftists. They are terrorists and terrorist sympathizers. Again, call you out. You don't like it? Come either have a debate or meet me in the ring, but you won't do it because you're a coward. And you don't understand what you guys have done. So I went and tried to figure out who's going to step up after this. Who is the next Charlie Kirk, okay? There's not going to be another Charlie Kirk. None of these people are even close to Charlie Kirk's acumen. None of them have the chutzpah. None of them have the wherewithal, the presence, the charisma of Charlie Kirk. Nobody comes close. But I had to figure out, with this type of gaping wound, where are these young youth going to go? They're not going to go to me. I'm an old man. I'm a Gen X millennial person. They're going to be looking to a millennial or Gen Zer. Who out there could do this? Benny? It's not going to be Benny. I mean, I don't like the guy. I mean, he seems like a decent guy, good guy, but it's not going to be Benny. Chaya, Libs of TikTok? No, it's not going to be her. Brett Cooper? Do I really have to go? Laura Loomer? No. Alex Stein? Really? No, none of these. So let's knock off Benny, Chaya, Cooper, Loomer. Now, Benny may think that he is going to be the center of the zeitgeist moving forward, but I'm sorry, Benny, you're not. Stein, I like you, dude. I love how you troll. It's not you. Isabella Brown, I don't even know who this woman is. I saw her on there, had to look her up. Apparently, she's part of the Daily Wire and really been pushing her, and which is hilarious because I pull a lot of headlines from the Daily Wire, and I didn't even know who she was. And then we get down to Nick Fuentes. Yeah. For those of you who know who Nick Fuentes is, you're like, no. Or maybe you're saying yes. Nick Fuentes is supposedly a God-fearing, believing, I want to say kid, but he is a man, 27 years old. He's one of the youngest ones on here next to Brett Cooper. Brett Cooper's a child. Sorry, Brett. Again, no hard feelings. Nick Fuentes is a white separatist, and I don't think that's good for America. He's even come out and stated that he does not believe in violence right now. But I don't know what he believes. I have not watched him. I've actually seen him for the first time as of yesterday, trying to get a feel for him. I've only seen the media stuff. So maybe some of you guys are messaging me right now saying that no, he's not a white separatist. Educate me. I am still learning about him, but as far as I can tell, he is the low man on the totem pole on the way up. And if I believe even half of the stuff coming out about him, it worries me if he becomes the new zeitgeist of the youth culture. Maybe I'm wrong. But case in point, 176,000 people are watching Nick right now. The young generation is not going to forgive what you lefties did to Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was the peaceful man. I don't think you can get any more peaceful than Charlie Kirk. I don't know about Nick. And you may have woken up a lion you are not ready to deal with. I pray for our souls. I pray for America's soul, because we are at war. Whether you like it or I like it or not, I have been saying for some time something is coming, but this is not what I expected. I did not expect to see some lunatic idiot decide to take out the most peaceful man trying to merge both fences together, trying to mend the bridge. But you did. You leftoids did. You rainbow bright idiots did. You shot down the biggest pillar keeping things civil. And you tore it down in an ugly way. In front of his own family. In front of his daughter. And then you mocked a good man's death to his wife. People are sick. Now, this is weird. So what we have here is a book that was published, I kid you not, September 9th, the day before Charlie's death, the shooting of Charlie Kirk. Explain this to me. How did they know? And what's crazy about this was removed after it was called out by Amazon and then re-put up September 11th. So again, explain this to me, how somebody quickly created a book, set it up September the 11th, or 9th rather, and had this pre-published ready to go. And that's what Amazon's saying. They're saying, well, somebody can pre-publish a book and they can put it a date back. Okay, fine. Let's just say that they were publishing it the day of his death and they put in the prior date. That still doesn't explain how they knew it was going to happen and they put it in as the pre-published date. You cannot go back in time and retroactively pre-publish something. You can only publish it the day of that it's going to be known. So that means that this person knew that this was going to happen, had it pre-written, knew either some of the stuff that was going to happen and put this in the book on September 9th, entered it in, and then released it on the 10th, a moment after the death. Explain it to me. Help me make sense of how somebody knew this was going to happen. It's right here in black and white. It's already been redacted, but you can see it on the Wayback Machine right here, September 9th. Somebody knew something was going to happen. Not only that, this is supposedly post from the killer. Charlie Kirk is coming to my college tomorrow. I really hope someone evaporates him. Let's just say something big will happen. It was initially theorized that this person was the shooter. This turns out not to be the case, but this begs the question now, how many people knew about the shooting before it took place? You've got the book, you've got the posts online, not just from this person, but from other people who knew something bad was about to happen. How many people know? How big of a conspiracy, how far deep does this conspiracy go? Guys, and I'm talking to everybody, left and right, you don't know what you've done. You don't know what you've done. For those on the right, 1 in 4 want you dead. 1 in 4 want you buried. 1 in 4 want to laugh at your family at their loss. You don't understand what is happening. You don't appreciate what we once had. People will look back at this moment and say, this was the moment a fuse was lit. This was the moment the right woke up and realized their lives were at risk. These same people who would laugh at the death of your family would vote for somebody who would see you in chains, who would see your freedom of speech taken away, and you put in a concentration camp for speaking your mind. They want to take away your guns, your ability to protect yourself. They want you living in fear, and they want you to shut up. I'm not going to shut up. I'm not going to stop. And any of you leftoids that have any half of a nut sack can meet me wherever you choose and we'll go to toe. But I know you won't do it because you're all cowards. You're all weak men who have to attack from the shadows because you're the evil ones.